Hi here, Vince here. I'm back for another video, and today it's time for my first Great British Bake Off review of 2020. Yes, this year I'm going to do a review of the Great British Bake Off because it's one of the most popular TV shows in Britain and everybody's talking about it, and I need to do something different on my channel. So each week I'm going to review the Bake Off, what I think of the contestants, what I think of the week that's just been, and my thoughts and feelings about it all. So yes, Bake Off was back this week. Um, yes, I'm really happy. I do really enjoy watching Bake Off because I like to cook myself. I like to bake. Um, uh, so that's one of my hobbies and interests. So I have enjoyed. I've watched the Bake Off since 2012. It's actually the first series I got into it, and then I went back 2014. Never missed a series since. So yes,
I enjoy watching it. So it was back on TV, yes, TV, on Tuesday evening. Um, and yes, it's all changed. Apparently, we're in a new location than we were before. And all the contestants this year have all been were all isolated in a bubble. Because you really couldn't have restraining orders when they all have to sit in one tent. So it was a big commitment to do, I'd say. So
and also it's all changed. We've got also a new host, Matt Lucas, um, is replacing Sandy Toxic in this year's as one of the hosts. At the opening, they had a little sketch about Boris Johnson's that about the COVID announcement. People were either going to love it or hate it. Me personally, love it. I love it because it was exactly like what Boris has said the last few months. You're allowed to bake, but don't bake in a tent. It was kind of mocking it, but it was fun, I guess. There've been complaints the last few days, but really, it was fun, I guess. And I guess people, I think he was a good host. I think as time goes by, I think he'll get used to the Bake Off. It was his first show, so it was probably a whole new experience for him. I think Noel started off like that, but gradually as time goes on, he'll get used to it. And I think he was a great addition. I thought he was really funny um, to the whole group and to the show as well. So yes, so it was Cake Week this week, and it was the first show. We got to know 12 bakers this year. We've got 12 and 13, which I prefer. 12 is a nice even number. I think 12 is the right number. 13, too much. And I'm glad, the age range has been, you know, has, we've got like 20-year-old to a 60-year-old, and last year we had too many people under 40, and it just became, I know what they were trying for, appeal a younger audience, but I mean, last year was actually, I felt was actually, I was quite disappointed by last year's series, I have to say. Because usually I really enjoy Bake Off every year, but last year, I don't know what about it. I don't know, there was just too many young people in it, there were just people, there were bakers I kind of forgot were in the show, if that makes sense. Um, and I actually was quite disappointed by the end of the series, last series. It was the 10th anniversary of Bake Off, and you got, I don't know. Last year I was disappointed by the cast, but this year the age range has varied. We've got a few older contestants than we did previous year. It was great because we all like, you know, the Nans up north. Your Vals, your Flo's, your Karens. It's nice to have them round. Um, and yes, it was a good cast. There were, that's what I like about Bake Off, the variety, of different ages and different backgrounds and all sorts of kind of people coming together, which is quite nice. The whole diversity of contestants on Bake Off we usually have, which is nice to see. And so what? So what did I think about Tuesday night show? I have to say that the first show has to be I would say one of the best show openers for quite a while. I have to say, I think even the best. It was very dramatic. I thought there was a lot of drama in show one already, and there was a lot of talent. There was a lot of emotion. Um, there was a lot of laughter as well. Yeah, it was quite a show, I have to say, to open it all. Obviously, we have to talk about the incident that happened in the technical. But before we get onto that, let's get to know the bakers a bit more. So the first star baker this week was Peter. I have to say, I was predicting before they were announcing who was star baker, he was going to be the star baker. I thought he would. Yeah, I thought he was very clever in his showstopper where they had to make a cake out of some sort of idol or someone they look up to. And he did Chris Hoy, the cyclist. And that was very clever because he didn't do any hair for Chris, it was just a helmet, and he didn't do eyes, so because it was goggles instead, which was very clever. Yeah, I think he could be a very Peter could be a contender as well, and also he came very close to winning the technical, coming second, which I thought he was really good in, and I thought he would win the technical. Pineapple upside down cake. I think he could be be a contender. But that being said, they wipe the slate clean or whatever you say that. They start from scratch the next week. So I mean, you might be star baker 1 week, the next week you could be out. Remember what happened in 2015, the drama and the controversy surrounding that vote. Remember. But yeah, again, you remember Dave, David last year's winner was never star baker, and he still won the whole thing, so anything can happen. Okay, let's talk about the incident in the technical. So the contestant, what's her name? Let me scroll down. What was her name? Hopefully I pronounce her name right. Her name was, where is it? So many contestants get through. Her name was Suru. No, all the contestants finished their technical, and they were all going to put their pineapple upside down cakes on the table, and then Suraya, I think you pronounce her name, had a fly of some sort, and the cameraman caught the fly. We didn't really see a fly, but there was a fly in her way, and then she accidentally, there was another contestant, Dave, who was just walking by, gonna put his cakes on the table, and then she just swung and knocked over some of his cakes onto the floor. And and there was only, out of the 8 cakes he made, 8 or 10, I can't remember, there was only 2 cakes left on his plate. And the drama surrounding that has to be, that will have to be one of the best moments of Bake Off. Probably the best moment, probably since Cake Bin Gate or whatever. Remember that baked Alaska that went into the bin? That's got to be one of the best moments. Poor Dave, it was an accident. He took it well, I guess. I have to say I felt also sorry for Suraya as well, because she was all emotional, she was in tears. And then when it went to the technical, Dave came 9th, And she won it all. And that has to be one of the most saddest technical wins I've ever seen. You know, usually they're all happy, yes, I won the technical. Well, she is just was crying when she won it. It was just so sad, you know, she was so upset. Oh, God. It just was so upsetting to watch. This poor woman should be celebrating, and instead she's crying because she feels so guilty. Oh, you really can't predict it. I mean, what a way to on the first show. It just really was just something. Oh gosh, really. But yeah, that was the technical. So who was the first one to leave? It was the first contestant that got voted out was. What was her name? Ah, her name was Lorea. Got voted out first. It is always a shame when you have to. You know, nobody wants to be the first one to be voted out first. I think it's maybe, you know, sometimes I always feel like maybe they shouldn't vote somebody out first on the first week. Maybe we should get to know them first, and then maybe week 2 we get someone get voted out in week 2. It's very brutal to be voted out on the first week, so I do feel sorry for Lorea. But I guess she just threw too much at her bakes, I guess. Less is more in Bake Off sometimes, and I think she just threw too much ginger in a showstopper, unfortunately, which was a shame because I do feel she had a lot of potential and we could have really seen a lot of her in the tent. It's never easy to be the first one out. So I do feel bad for her. But yeah, somebody has to be out first. I was worried that Linda was going to be the first one out because she didn't have a great signature, unfortunately. Although it was supposed to be all emotional, but sadly it didn't work. And she came last in a technical. Those pineapple upside down cakes were just a disaster. But luckily, a miracle worked because her showstopper kind of saved her. She redeemed herself, so she got off on that one. Yeah. So who else? So I was worried Linda was going to be first one out, but luckily she redeemed herself. So, yeah. Who else am I looking forward to? I have to say I was quite impressed by Lottie. I'm very interested by Lottie. I think she had a good signature. Yes, it was that rhubarb and custard kind of design was very creative. She didn't really do as well, and she did well in the technical. She didn't do as well in the showstopper, unfortunately, so that's kind of what led her not to get Star Baker. But she has potential. She could do well. I could see her winning Star Baker one week, maybe. I would like to see her go far. She's very posh. She's the pantomime director, and we're thankful she's fallen into a second hobby of cooking because, you know, pantomimes, it's not going to happen this year. Who else? I think there was... Ronan. Ronan was a very interesting character. He's very camp, but I'm very looking forward to seeing Ronan. He did throw a bit too much, maybe, at his bakes. Yet again, less is more, but I'm looking forward to seeing him. There were a few bakers, you know, that kind of blended in the background, I thought, on the first show, like Mac. I didn't really get to know Mac, or even the two Marks, even. But hopefully, as time goes on, I know it's just the first week, we'll get to know these bakers a little bit more, and hopefully they'll come out their shells. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this series of Bake Off, and I think that's all I have to say, really. So comment down below what you thought of Bake Off 2020 week 1. Like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want. I'll be back for more content very soon. Until then, have a great day. People, goodbye. People, goodbye.